Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I forgot how I usually do this. It's like, take a day off, and next thing you know, you don't even know what you're supposed to say anymore. We do have a guest today. It's part two of our interview with Dave Thomas from The Strange Brew and SCTV and Saturday Night Live. Today, we're going to be visiting with him about an SCTV reunion that's coming to Netflix, and I'm excited to give you all the details on that later in the show. Also, I got a quote for today. You ready for that?
I am ready.
It's from Margaret Thatcher. She says, "In politics, if you want anything said, ask a man. If you want anything done, ask a woman."
I remember her saying that.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
She really was. Margaret Thatcher. She's our quote for this quote of the day. Thanks for listening on Monday, the 16th day of July.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Monday, the 16th day of July. It's National Corn Fritters Day. It's also National Personal Chef's Day. And it's National Get Out of the Doghouse Day. Am I out of the doghouse yet?
Not quite.
She was very upset with me last week. I just say and do dumb things. That's all. We've been married now for 18 years. You'd think that I would learn, but I haven't learned yet, have I?
No,
I'm getting better.
I haven't learned.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Corn Fritters Day. You're from the state of Iowa, known for corn. Have you ever had a corn fritter?
I have no idea what a corn fritter even is.
Just wondering if you ever had one. So there you go. That explains that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Monday.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, take a listen to this. Pizza places kind of get some bizarre requests from time to time with, maybe some strange toppings on a pizza. Mm-hmm. But this was a strange request for how I'd like my pizza delivered. Got a teenage girl in Texas who sent a message to Domino's. She says, "Knock 3 times and then sing me a song." Teen by the name of Liz Bruner wanted the delivery person to sing her a song when handing over the pizza. She said, "I like to request all kinds of silly things when people bring me pizza. Most don't do it, but this time someone did." Pizza delivery man Austin Aranda sang Maroon 5's "She Will Be Loved" at Liz's front door. And Liz and her sister stood there, and then they got video of this, and I've got a link to this in our social media and in our, what do you call this thing again? Show notes.
That's probably one I will go and watch.
Yeah, it's cute.
Because I bet that's adorable.
And then in the story I read, because I was like, well, that's really neat, and said that the next day the family stopped by their pizza place and gave him an extra $20 tip. Because they're like, you know
that's
what?
pretty cool.
That was really cool
absolutely.
of you. So, how cool would it be if those two end up getting married? I don't know that they're. I don't know how old he is and how old she is. So, but she's teen. It says teen Liz Bruner. I've got a link in the show notes if you want to read all about it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
John and Heidi.
And And this is your brain on drugs. A Wisconsin woman had a literal grab bag of illegal narcotics, cocaine, methamphetamines, marijuana, ecstasy, and synthetic pot hidden inside her body during a recent traffic stop. Acting on a tip, they pulled over a 1997 Monte Carlo being driven by 20-year-old Desiree Webster. She was accompanied in the vehicle by Gerald McCollum, age 39. He's a convicted drug dealer. Investigators have been told that McCollum would travel with females and have them conceal contraband, inside their body.
Oh, that's so classy.
A patrol officer said, they thought there was something going on, so she claimed, no, I don't have any drugs. Anyway, then they started pulling pot out of her brassiere, and there was more and more and more. Anyway, a baggy-type mass was found in her pelvic area.
Gross.
Anyway, July 9th was their court appearance, so this story must be a week old or so at least. People send me the weirdest things, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me when you see these things. But I don't know if I should say thank you or if I should be maybe a little disturbed. But because we do this segment, Brain on Drugs, I've got stuff here stacked up for at least a week. So I don't always get to them in a timely fashion. But if you send it, I will get to it. You can read all about this, if you'd like, in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. War brewing behind the scenes of the Miss America organization. I guess 2 board members said they were forced to resign because they said, I think we should keep the swimsuit competition. They're like, really? You're out of here. You need to leave. They've been doing this
watch
for
the ratings
decades.
Tumble.
Well, and I think it's weird that they forced them to resign because they told the truth. They're like, guys, I think people kind of like it. Now, if you don't want to do it, we don't have to do it, but I think we should keep it. Well, they were forced out because of that. Robin Wright Penn, you know who that is, right?
Yes, I do.
She was Jenna in Forrest Gump, but she was many other things. She's in Princess Bride, and I guess she's in the show House of Cards. Never seen it. Have you seen that?
No.
She said, I had no idea about Kevin Spacey's personal life. She said, I guess we just never really talked off set. So he wouldn't talk to her off the set. It's because you're not a 14-year-old boy. So that's why.
Stop it.
I'm just saying, that's what was going on. So I think it's really sad that it was happening. But I thought, anyway, I'll move on.
I don't know. I still like Kevin Spacey.
I do, too. I think he's a great actor, but it's really sad to hear all the weird things that he was doing. So.
There's lots of weirdos in Hollywood.
I know.
I mean, you can't just single out just Kevin.
No, I'm not singling out anybody. I've got stories here for several others, but we're all out of time. Look at the time. This has been Big Screen, Little Screen.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now your scoop of the day, courtesy of 80sinthesand.com. A Virginia tech company has developed road signs that can determine if the driver is using their phone in the car, and if they are, it'll send them a message on the phone. Wait a minute. So it's like if you're texting and driving, it'll send you another text? Or is it going to flash on the sign that you should quit texting?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure how that works. If it's sending you a message, wouldn't that almost be like if there was a sign that could detect if you're a drinker and driver and it would serve you a beer? I mean, it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
if that's
seems like a bad idea.
I don't know. Anyway, I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. I'm going to just move on because this one looks interesting. Hollywood producers have already landed on the scene of the cave rescue in Thailand to buy the film rights from the boys and their families. I knew that was going to happen. There was a documentary that was on over the weekend, and now they're working on a big screen movie for it. Honda has developed a lawnmower in Japan that can travel 150 miles per hour. Wait a minute, what? What? It's time to mow the lawn. I'm done. Wow, that didn't take long. 150 miles an hour?
I'd kind of like to have one of those.
Would you?
You know how fun that would be?
Can you? There's no way you could do a good job mowing the lawn. Got the lawn done in record time.
Oh,
yeah, it looks
man. That's hilarious.
Terrible job. Just trying to think of a nice word I could say. It looks like a bad job. There we go.
Oh, funny.
Not a lot of things I could say there, really. So Honda, working on that. They developed a lawnmower in Japan. It can travel 150 miles per hour. If you get one, please do me a favor.
Send us a video.
A video, please. Show me what the lawn looks like, because there's no way it's going to look good. Just no way.
Oh, funny.
Trying to mow around trees. You have to wear a helmet if you're going to use that mower. The WHO, that's the World Health Organization, they declared that sex addiction is a mental health disorder and should be treated as such. I'm not sure what that means. Should be treated as such. What is...
It's treated as a mental health disorder.
Okay. But it's also breaking the law, so it should be treated that way as well, shouldn't it?
How is a sex addiction breaking the law?
Oh, I guess sex addiction... No, that's not. But if... I see, huh? So, if... But if you're doing something wrong with that...
well, they're not, though.
Okay,
they're just saying
that's
if you're
true.
addicted, you
I
need
understand
help.
that now. So there you go. I was thinking about, because there are stories about people who have a sex addiction, they get themselves in trouble for doing the
Right.
wrong things. So hopefully this, now that it's going to be classified as a mental health disorder, I hope that doesn't help, them get in less trouble.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
It makes sense, but I don't think that's what they're going for.
Wow, it's quite the scoop of the day today. A survey by... I'm going to make sure. I'm going to pre-read. Can I say this? A survey by the Customer Growth Partners found that back-to-school spending is expected to increase by 5.1% this year. So is that more money on paper and pencils and protractors and stuff? Do they still use protractors?
Maybe they're going to buy better back-to-school clothes and
Could
shoes
be.
and stuff because there's more money in the pockets of
There
the
you go.
American people.
If you got more dough to spend, you probably will
That's
spend
right.
more dough.
I think that's wonderful.
That is very good. And one final story to get to here, study of more than 20,000 people in the United Kingdom. That's also known as England or Britain, Great Britain.
Right.
They got a lot of names. More than 20,000 people there determined that being rich and successful is determined by your DNA.
No. Sorry, but no.
Hard work, I think. But the study found that people with certain genetic variations have a higher chance of earning more money and getting further in education. So they're saying if your DNA is correct... Now, I guess I understand to a point because, if your DNA makes you beautiful, you're going to probably get a job easier in certain fields. If your DNA gives you the ability to remember things and you become, you're smarter because you retain things, I see that. But I think it's just somebody that's blaming, it's not my fault I'm still living in your basement, Mom. According to this study that I just conducted, it's all about my DNA.
With all of my friends.
So thanks, Mom. It's kind of your fault.
Funny.
I don't know. Maybe not. I've got a link to all of these stories, even the ones I muttered through. It's all in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening on a Movie Star Monday. We are going to have part 2 of our interview with Dave Thomas. We talked a little bit last week about his relationship with Rick Moranis and how they work together. A lot of improv, and we're going to kind of pick it up right there. When you're working improv, it is a little more difficult, isn't it?
Improvisation is you're making up your story as you go along, and you're making up your jokes as you go along. So you really have to be careful not to trample on the other guy and let him say what he's got to say, set him up. He's got to let you say what you got to say. It's a real give and take thing that, requires a very close relationship. So when we worked together as those characters, very close. When we wrote together, also very close. And we wrote a number of things on SCTV, other than Bob and Doug, that were kind of like real interesting pairings. We did like Bob Hope and Woody Allen together. We did Walter Cronkite and David Brinkley together. We did, Shakespeare and Sir Francis Bacon together. We did, the Man with the X-ray Eyes and the Invisible Man together. We created a number of duos on that show just because we had this real rhythm and closeness in terms of a working relationship.
Well, and I've always been a fan of both of the characters and also a big fan of Rick Moranis. I was so excited to see, I don't know if it was the season finale or it was close to the season finale of the Goldbergs. He was on there, kind of reprised his role in Spaceballs, which I thought was really neat.
Oh, yeah, right.
Now, the SCTV we were just talking about a moment ago there, you guys have a kind of a really cool reunion thing that just kind of happened with Netflix. Let's talk about the deal that happened with Netflix and what folks can expect there.
We had an offer originally from a Canadian broadcaster. Wasn't enough to actually do the show. And so Andrew Alexander, the owner of SCTV, went looking for an American broadcaster that might be interested in the show, and it ended up being Netflix. We were trying to come up with an idea for, first of all, what would we do? Because we weren't really sure what our reunion show would consist of. We ultimately decided that one thing it should consist of is all the cast in front of an audience, like, not a huge house, but a small and intimate house, like 2,500 people, something like that. And somebody asking the cast questions. And so that part of it was sort of in our minds. And we thought Jimmy Kimmel would be the perfect guy to be the guy who asking questions. A couple of us have relationships with him. Marty, in particular, is a fairly close friend of Jimmy. Then it became who's going to direct it. Catherine had done a movie with Marty Scorsese, and she thought, he said he was a big fan of the show. Let's just see if he's interested. Now, Catherine had kind of lost touch with him, but once again, Marty Short knew somebody who was very close to Scorsese, and so Marty set up a meeting, and sure enough, Scorsese said, yeah, I'm very interested. So now we had a deal with Netflix, a kind of centerpiece for the show, which would be this interview thing with Jimmy Kimmel, a director, Martin Scorsese, and we still haven't figured out the rest of it. But we already shot the part with Jimmy Kimmel in Toronto at the Elgin Theater. All the cast was there. And we also shot a thing in New York with Scorsese, just kind of a round table interview with Scorsese and the cast talking about film, parody in film, what we liked, and what we were thinking of doing, what we might want to do with him and so on. And then some individual interviews with cast members in pairs and singles. That's what we got so far.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there's still some talk about adding other elements, but I think Scorsese is cutting together what he has now, and he's going to look at it and then come to us and say, I think we should do this, or I think we should do that.
Well, that's really neat. And Netflix has been amazing. Some of the things that they've been putting out, it's got to be exciting for you to see that same group that's doing that reach back into the past and say, hey, let's do something with SCTV. There's a fan base there, and they know it's going to be a hit as soon as it's released. So that's got to be cool to be a part of that.
It is. The Netflix model is really upending television in a big way.
Yeah.
They're able to buy so much product because of their enormous worldwide subscription base. I was talking to Ted Sarandos, and he's the boss there at Netflix, and he said they're going to do 1,000 programs this year that will be financed and shot and put on his network. Now, you could take NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, and half a dozen other networks, and they won't even come close to 1,000 programs. Not 1,000 hours of content, 1,000 programs. And some of them are movies, and some of them are hour shows, and some of them are multi-episode shows. That's an incredible volume of stuff that really puts the audience in a position of not even remotely being able to see it all.
It's changing the way people view programs on a television.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's binge watching, which, all of a sudden they'll unload 13 episodes of the show and 13 hours of it. And so instead of watching it every week for 13 weeks, some people just watch it on a weekend, see the whole thing.
We've been doing that with the TV show Cheers. I think I've watched the first 2 seasons in the last week. So, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Well, Dave, thank you again for taking some time to visit with us. When will the SCTV reunion on Netflix, do we have an idea when that's going to happen or when that's going to come out for us to watch?
It won't come out till late 2019.
So there's still some things you guys will be working on between now and then. I wish you the very best, and I know it's going to be awesome when it makes its way. And if there's some things we can do between now and then, and when it comes out, we'd love a chance to chat with you again.
That'd be great. I would love that.
Again, this is part 2 of our interview with Dave Thomas, and the SCTV reunion is coming to Netflix next year. We'll have some details on our page, and you can also learn more at davethomas.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner, you should consider using radio. Radio is a powerful tool. Over 90% of us listen to the radio each week. Imagine if this ad was talking about your business, helping you hit your goals. We can help. We can also create a fun jingle too, to get people singing your song. When you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable, and that makes radio work even better. Learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. Radio jingles to help you get better results with the money you're already spending. RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Henry VIII. We've all heard the song.
Yes.
His first wife, do you know what her name was?
No.
Henry VIII, I am. It was Catherine of Aragon.
Ah.
Names were very interesting back then.
They were.
Catherine of Aragon. So would you be Heidi of Storm Lake?
Probably.
I would be John of Huron.
Probably.
I'm glad that we don't go by that anymore. So, how about this one? Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Battle of Culloden took place on the 16th of April, 1746.
What was the Battle of Culloden?
Well, they were fighting over Culloden. They're like, it's my Culloden. They're like, no, it's my Culloden. I don't really know what that is. And it's probably some historically important thing that I should know, and I have to admit that I don't know. Do you know who the prime minister was that followed Winston Churchill?
No.
Okay, then fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Sir Robert Anthony Eden, the first Earl of Avon, became the British prime minister to succeed Winston Churchill in 1955.
Those are some big shoes to fill.
Well, he was the Earl of Avon. He was such a good Avon salesperson, they made him the Earl.
I see.
I don't think that's
Nice
really
try.
what it was, but either way, this has been today's Fun Facts.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day. Today's word is bloviate. Have you ever heard that word?
I have heard that word.
I have too. I'm not sure who said it, but I'm pretty sure they were talking about me at the time. Bloviate. B-L-O-V-I-A-T-E. Bloviate. It is to speak in a pompous or overbearing way. Once in a while, I can be, I can bloviate from time to time.
I think everybody can from time
And
to time.
it also means to write or speak windily, like to keep talking, to just keep talking. That is the one that was used for me. To talk at length, especially in an inflated or empty way. So I remember I had one guy said, the sheer volume of words that come out of your mouth. And he said, you could absolutely positively trim them down by about 90% and say more than if you wouldn't say so many. And I was like, oh, thanks. So what you're saying really is that I talk too much? I thought so. All right, I'll be quiet now. This has been today's grandiloquent word, bloviate.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, some weird news for you on a Monday. Walmart and other retail stores have dealt with shoplifters for years, but this retail theft was of massive scale from Indiana. It says Indiana police arrested a Tennessee man, and they charged him with stealing a Walmart trailer full of merchandise.
Whoa.
42-year-old Josephine Johnson was arrested in Indiana, charged with stealing a Walmart trailer from a store in Lansing, Illinois. Police say that several people were unloading the trailer and bringing the goods into a residence at the time.
Jeez.
Walmart workers were dispatched to the home to reclaim the lost inventory. The case is under review by the St. Joe County Prosecutor's
So instead of
Office.
calling the police, Walmart just said, hey, Billy, you part-time
Yes.
employee up there in customer
Yes.
service,
Why don't you head
grab
on
a
over
couple
to
of your coworkers.
Maple Street and snag back that trailer.
That is super dangerous.
I'm pretty sure that's not quite how it went down, but something along those lines. That is pretty crazy. All right, this has been today's Weird News. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A man is behind bars after police say that he led them on a wild chase and crashed into another vehicle. It was around 2 p.m. Saturday when Tulsa police officers spotted a man and a woman jump over a fence. Authorities tried to check on them. The woman jumped another fence and got away while the man got into a car and led officers on a short chase. Then he crashed into another car. That's when he jumped out of the car and ran from the scene. Police ultimately found the car, which was stolen. Officers say the alleged suspect left his wallet in the vehicle, which led them to 31-year-old Eric Baker. He was arrested on complaints of possession of a stolen vehicle, eluding, and assault with a dangerous weapon to an officer. That's just not a smart thing to leave your wallet in the car. It's not a good idea to steal the car in the first place. None of that is a good idea. Yeah, all of those things were a bad idea, but that's the one that got you caught right there, Eric. When you leave the ID and everything right in the car. Bad idea. That's why it's today's Moment of Duh.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
Time now for fake news or Florida. A man was arrested after he asked police to make sure the meth that he purchased was real. Is that a fake story, Heidi? Or is that
was Florida.
Is that a Florida story? You think it really happened?
Yeah.
Did you read about this somewhere?
I think we talked about it.
Did we really? Son of a gun. That's why you keep getting them, because I've been talking about it. I got to be better about this. Yes, it's a true story. It really, truly happened in the great state of Florida. You ready for another fake news or Florida?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Tell me, is this fake news or Florida? Man arrested for making a bomb threat because he claimed his neighbor was shooting microwaves into his brain. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
No, it's a true story. So, apparently, he thought his neighbor was somehow controlling his mind, and that made him do a bomb threat somehow? I'm not sure. There's a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes under fake news or Florida.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is pretty darn good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva. It's a monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All the details at radiosavings.com. Now, like many of our stories, it starts out really kind of sad, but then it turns into kind of happy. So here's what happened. There's a young man who had a fire. His name is Mark Orilso. I probably said it wrong, but he lost his entire movie collection in a fire, and he's a young man who has Down syndrome, and his movies meant the world to him. But there was a wildfire that hit his town in California, and he was trying to get as many movies out as he could, but the family said, hey, you only have 20 minutes. We got to go. So they took off, and 27 years he lived there, and all of his movies from all of those years were in the home, and it was burned to the ground. Now, it was really sad to lose the home. It would be really sad, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. But it was really sad for him because, hey, I lost all these movies. I've been collecting these my whole life. So thousands of people responded to a really nice plea from his sister. She went on Facebook and left a little video saying, hey, if you've got some movies that you don't really watch anymore, if you want to get rid of them, if you want to help, Mark would love that. So thousands of movies have poured in. And I'm looking on here right now. There's a comment on here from a lady by the name of Denise. And I'm going to pause the video because there's all kinds of information I'm probably missing by looking at this. She said, my brother passed away leaving about 1,000 DVDs. His collection was his pride and joy, much like Mark's. Was his name Mark? Much like this man's, is what she said. Please contact me if they would be of any interest. So people reaching out, not just with, hey, I got a couple of DVDs, 1,000 DVDs. That
That's
lady had.
fantastic.
It is so cool. And when you watch the video, we'll see how happy this makes him. He is so excited. And it's just, they've raised more than $12,000. And they've had all these people, strangers, just send in movie after movie after movie. So Mark, it is his name. Mark's story has a very, very happy ending. And he said, I can't wait to watch these movies. I think it's really cool. I've got a link in our show notes. It's under the good news section at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.